Hi, and welcome to our Module 6. This is Unit 7 in our syllabus, just so you know, so you're not confused. And our topic for this week is integrating multicultural and education into gifted education. Specifically, we will focus in on a couple of things, but I just wanted to give you a caution that some of the topic areas will be a little sensitive for those who may have some issues with race relations and its relation to education. The reason why I mention that is because I found myself being one of those people who I don't really like to talk about, I guess, not racial, not race as a whole. Like, I'm aware that we have racial divides within our country. Obviously, I'm a part of a minority, but I'm not really a fan of discussing certain topics regarding the race because it's a difficult topic sometimes for some people, and oftentimes people feel left attacked if they're not one that's a part of a minority and they're part of a majority. But I just want you to know that this is not intended to feel like an attack, nor is it intended to feel like that is a target. Remember, when I talk about white privilege and deficit thinking, and also what's the other term that we'll visit? There's a few others. Color blindness. I'm speaking about systematic approaches to dealing with how we provide access to students who are minoritized. So that means that we are all a part of a system, and we all play our role, and we all are part of American society where there are certain aspects of things that we do that cause racial divides. Not sometimes it's intentional, depending on personal beliefs. I find that a lot of times it is not intentional, but it's systematic approaches that we're not aware of. So as we go through some of the content within this, just kind of be prepared. If you feel uncomfortable, you can feel free to have the conversation with me, but it's not a personal attack, especially if you're European American. And you don't look like me. I put that out there because I had an experience last year where I was teaching courses about African American boys. It was online, and I shared my racial demographics, and then a student thought I graded her lower because of this color of my skin. The reason why this topic is important to me is not just because I'm African American female, but it's also important because I find myself not being able to understand the cultures of my students, and I found myself challenged with the stereotypical mindset that I had about certain students and being able to better service them. So in this context in particular, we will look at how to integrate multicultural education into gifted education programs, but we'll also look at the deficit of or the underrepresentation of different cultures within gifted education programs. And the reason for this is because it is my goal, just like I believe that it is yours, to prepare our students for the world of tomorrow. And one of the things I realize is that just because students look like me, it doesn't mean that they're prepared for the world of tomorrow. And it doesn't also mean that I actually really knew them, which were some of my challenges in the classroom. So what does our tomorrow world look like? It's smaller, it's interconnected between countries, and it does require students to have an exposure of content that's global, and also be used to not being tolerant of people. I don't really like the teaching of tolerance. My motto is a teaching of acceptance of differences, because the funny thing is that, like one of the pictures in the PowerPoint will say, we are all different, but we're all human. So the differences that we do bring it to the space actually make it even better. So the focus in this module is really for us to learn how to celebrate the differences of our students, and then integrate those differences into curriculum, content, and also assessment and activity approaches that we use. And also to expand our thoughts about who and the type of gifted abilities and talents that we label. So for people middle and high school, this is super important because you have the ability to decide if a student goes to AP or if they go to honors courses, and if they are put in a position where the content's not that interesting to them, and then they're acting out, but they have intellectual ability. Is it your responsibility or the students to make sure that their talents are developed and are brought to light? It's kind of both. You have to give them something to be excited about, that they find relative. So this kind of challenges us to look outside of ourselves, and consider what gifted education should kind of look like, and also how to increase the representation of other races within gifted education programs. If you have any questions, or you just want to continue the conversation personally, feel free. Although it's not my favorite topic, because I come to approach the world from a humanistic kind of outlook, and I know that we have racial divide, but sometimes I just wish that if we just looked at each other with who we are, our differences in race and culture and ethnicities, and saw the human part of each other, then we would have a better place to live. So, anywho, if you want to continue the conversation, feel free. But I just wanted to put it out there that this is not a personal attack on anyone. It really is a conversation about biases and prejudices that are pertinent to the gifted education programming, and also content that students are exposed to. Looking forward to you participating in the unit. Have a great day.